Let's be real. One of the biggest fears artists have when building their careers is this: am I selling out? It's the accusation no artist wants attached to their name. Drop a radio-friendly single, you're selling out. Partner with a brand, selling out. Switching genres, definitely selling out. But here's the thing, selling out isn't actually what most people think it is. If you don't understand how branding plays into this, you're gonna get stuck in the middle. Too authentic to grow or too commercial to be respected. The truth is, selling out isn't about success. It's about breaking trust. Hey friends, I'm Ana The Marketeer, your friendly neighborhood marketeer baddie. I decode the marketing and branding strategies behind celebs, creators, and campaigns so we can both learn and grow together, and of course to help you build your own authentic personal brand. And today we're going to break down what selling out actually means in terms of branding. And we're also going to look at some case studies of artists who nailed the balance versus those who fumbled it, and some branding lessons that you can take as an artist, creator, entrepreneur, etc. to grow your career without losing yourself, or worse, getting called a sellout in the process. But first, I know most of you watching my videos aren't subscribed to my channel. If you've been liking my videos, please hit subscribe right now to support the channel and get weekly breakdowns just like this. And if you join my newsletter, Marketeer's Memo, you'll get a free download of my authentic branding checklist that will give you immediate tips to elevate your current branding while being yourself. Link is in the description. And also, you can listen to these episodes on Spotify as well. That link's in the description too. Now, let's break it down. What does selling out really mean? First things first, let's dissect and define what selling out actually means. According to the classic definition, being a sellout means betraying shared values or principles for personal gain, and that's often for money or for fame. We see it in politics, entertainment, and music. From a brand and marketing perspective, though, it looks like this. Selling out is when an artist breaks the emotional promise of their brand. Think about it this way. Your brand is the emotional consistency, what people feel when they hear your name. Your moves, the singles, the collabs, the endorsements should reinforce the brand. When your moves feel disconnected from the brand identity you built, that's when fans start calling you a sellout. It's not the act of chasing a hit or doing a specific collab. It's whether it aligns with your brand identity. So let's look at a few examples here, like Adele releasing Hello, a massive pop single, but no one said she sold out. Why? Because her brand promise has always been emotional storytelling through powerhouse vocals, and that song delivered that. Versus Maroon 5 leaning hard into generic top 40 after songs about Jane. That felt like a betrayal of their original soulful rock-leaning identity. Fans called them sellouts because the brand promise got blurry in the process. And the bottom line truly is this: selling out is a perception issue. It's about whether your choices feel like an authentic extension of your brand or a costume that you're just putting yourself into. Artists who got it right. Let's look at artists who managed to scale, grow, and cross over without losing their brand identity or being called sellouts. Number one, Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick manages the nearly impossible task of being both commercially successful and critically respected. His brand promise is truth-telling and artistry. He's a storyteller first and foremost. So when he partners with Nike or Reebok, it doesn't feel like selling out. It feels like cultural alignment. His collabs reflect the same authenticity and community focus his music delivers. The lesson from Kendrick: when your brand is built on depth and intentionality, every move can reflect that, even the commercial ones. Number two, SZA. SZA's persona is soft-spoken, almost hesitant, but her brand is confessional honesty and vulnerability. From Control to SOS, her sound shifted from lo-fi R&B to polished pop blends, but the emotional promise of messy, real, unfiltered storytelling never changed. Fans trusted her because she doesn't posture. Even her brand collabs like Skims or Crocs feel aligned to her quirky, relatable energy. The lesson we can learn from SZA: vulnerability is a brand strength when it's consistent. 3. Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's persona is unbothered and rebellious, equally comfortable in drag or a wrestling ring. His brand is Puerto Rican pride, cultural authenticity, and defying industry norms. He experiments constantly with reggaeton, trap, rock, ballads, but the promise is always the same: I represent my culture on my terms. That's why his Adidas and WWE partnerships read as brand expansion, not betrayal. The lesson from Bad Bunny we can learn is staying rooted in your culture makes global success feel authentic. Number 4, Billie Eilish. Billie started as the anti-pop star, wearing more baggy clothes instead of like tight-fitted things, not wearing like leotards and things that we would consider pop girlies to wear. But since her debut, she's experimented with more glamour and more maturity in her image and in her music, while still staying true to her brand promise, which is creative control and raw emotion. Her pivots feel intentional because she frames them as personal evolution. Fans feel like they're growing with her, not being handed a new product. Her promise, authentic self-expression, anchors every shift. What you can learn from Billie: if you narrate your growth, your audience will come along for the ride. Number 5, Taylor Swift. Taylor is a masterclass in reinvention. Country, pop, indie folk, back to pop, superstardom. And yet, fans stay loyal through the whole journey. Why is that? Because her brand promise isn't about sound, it's about storytelling. Are we getting a trend here? We're sensing a trend with a lot of these people who, fans resonate with for very long periods of time and follow them along their path, even if it might shift and change. No matter the genre, she writes her life into her music. Fans connect with the emotional vulnerability and narrative detail, not just the sonics. That's why she can shift eras and aesthetics so dramatically without alienating her base. The sound changes, but the brand promise, storytelling intimacy remains intact. Now let's look at artists who were accused of selling out or struggled to maintain brand consistency. Number 1, Mariah Carey in her glitter era. So Mariah is a legend, hands down, we all know that. But the glitter era nearly derailed her. The movie tie-in, the soundtrack, the rushed rollout, it all felt commercial first, artistry second. The brand promise that Mariah had built, being a vocal goddess, R&B pop powerhouse, was overshadowed by a confusing persona shift. Fans didn't know what to expect anymore. While she eventually redeemed herself with the Emancipation of Mimi, iconic album, iconic era, loved that album so much, the lesson here is clear. If your project feels more like a corporate product than an authentic extension of your artistry, fans will call it out. Maroon 5. Maroon 5 went from raw, soulful songs about Jane to generic pop machine. The issue wasn't that they wanted hits. It was that they abandoned the soulful rock identity that made fans fall in love with them. The brand promise was dissolved and replaced with radio bait. Fans felt betrayed, not because they got popular, because they did get pretty popular with the music that they put out with songs about Jane. That's how I heard about them. That's how many people heard about them. But because they lost the emotional core of what made people fall in love with them in the first place. Black Eyed Peas. The Black Eyed Peas started with underground hip-hop credibility and socially conscious lyrics. But when they pivoted into electro pop with hits like Boom Boom Pow and I Got a Feeling, My Humps, so on and so forth, many longtime fans started calling them sellouts. Why? Because the emotional promise of underground authenticity was replaced by party anthems. Commercially, it worked. I was definitely of that time when Black Eyed Peas was huge. I loved them. I was a kid. It was great. It was fun. It was high energy. But from a branding perspective, coming from their core being underground hip hop people to these commercial superstars, they sacrificed their original brand identity in order to become the Black Eyed Peas that we, later millennials, Gen Zs think of when we think of the Black Eyed Peas. Panic at the Disco. Panic launched with theatrical emo rock brilliance in A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. But as years went on, the brand slowly collapsed into just Brendan and a rotating cast. The theatrical, community-driven band identity was replaced with a solo pop persona. Fans labeled it a sellout move because the emotional promise, band as art project, was lost in the shuffle. So what are the branding lessons we can learn from the stars who did it right and the stars who got labeled as sellout? Number 1, anchor in your emotional promise. Ask yourself, what do people feel when they engage with me? Inspired, empowered, moved. That emotional consistency is your brand foundation. Number 2, evolve, don't abandon. Change is natural, but don't drop your core identity overnight. Fans need narrative bridges. Show them how you got from point A to point B. 3, narrative is everything. If you're changing sounds, aesthetics, or even industries, tell people why. Context creates loyalty. Silence breeds skepticism. Number 4, commercial does not mean selling out. Endorsements, collabs, big stages, they're not sellout moves if they align with your identity. Bad Bunny proved that. Kendrick Lamar proved that. Commercial moves can strengthen your brand when they're consistent with your promise. And number 5, fans smell inauthenticity. Audiences today are super savvy. They know when you're leading versus chasing. A strong brand leads trends. A weak brand jumps on them. So what can you learn as a musician, creator, entrepreneur who is worried about being labeled a sellout? So here's a quick checklist that you could go through to make sure that you are still in line with, what you want to put out with your own authenticity. Know your emotional promise. Write it down. Anchor every decision in it. Plan your pivots. If you're switching it up, narrate it. Take your audience on your journey. Balance money with meaning. Monetization isn't evil, but make sure your offers reflect your identity. And trust your instincts. Some people will always call growth selling out. What matters is whether you feel aligned. At the end of the day, selling out is another way of people saying, I don't recognize you anymore. But when you build your brand on emotional clarity, narrate your changes, and align your moves with your core promise, you can scale, grow, and earn money without selling out. So I want to hear from you guys now. Which artist do you think best balanced the commercial success with authenticity the best? Drop it in the comments below, please. And of course, thank you for watching. If you'd like more deep dives like this, please subscribe, please like, please comment, help support the channel any way you can. If you want more breakdowns like this, in your email inbox more often, please subscribe to Marketer's Memo. And again, you can listen to these on Spotify. And of course, please, you can follow me on IG and TikTok as well at Ana The Marketeer. And some people have asked me in the comments if I do consulting about branding for musicians, creators, small businesses, etc. Yes, I do. Please email me. I'll put it in the description below, but email me. I will respond to you and we can help you build your own brand, whether it's a personal brand or you need help in branding or marketing for your own business. Until next time, Marketeers, stay consistent, stay grounded, and most importantly, stay you.